Hi, Urice movement. Hi, Urice tribe, and welcome to Urice Clarity Mastermind. Clarity, why clarity? Because without clarity, you can't move forward. And Mastermind, because the biggest and the fastest shortcut to move anywhere is to learn from people who already been there. And today we have such a treat. We have Lyman Montgomery, who is focus expert. He was able to achieve so much in his life because of focus. And let me share a little bit about his bio. Give me 1 second. Me and Lyman met about a year ago, and I really enjoyed him speaking on stage. I've seen him maybe for only a few minutes, but it was such a treat. And you guys were such a treat today. So give me 1 minute. Okay. Lyman Montgomery. Due to a lack of focus, Lyman missed out on some great business opportunities and faced many setbacks until he decided to do something different. He learned to clear his mind and focus his energies on eliminating his disability beliefs. And within a few weeks, he saw dramatic results. That was over 12 years ago. The key to his success was having a life coach and learning how to balance work and family. At the request of his mentor, he decided to pursue his dream of becoming a certified life and business coach. Since becoming a certified lifestyle and business coach, he went on to obtain a master level NLP practitioner. He has accomplished a lot. President of Focus Driven Lifestyle Coaching, LLC, a well-sought-after conference speaker, consultant, and #1 Amazon best-selling author. He's been featured in several magazines, such as the Business Innovator magazine, and is the recipient of prestigious Best Presenter and the Empowered Leader Award. In April 2019, Lyman received his PhD in Human Resources Management from Nuffer Central University. His dissertation is on focus-driven engagement strategies. Lyman is the proud father of 2 sons, Cameron and Destin. To learn, and now we're gonna learn so much more about Lyman. So Lyman, I'm giving you the floor. Focus and clarity.
Veronica, first of all, let me say thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a long time coming, but we are here, and I want to give extreme value. One of the things that I believe in when it comes to speaking all across the country, parts of the world, is clarity. One of the things that I believe in absolutely, and I think you hit the nail on the head, is clarity. As I travel around the country, I find so many people, they're in a state of confusion. And they ask themselves the same question: what should I be doing? And why am I not living the lifestyle that really I believe everyone should be living? And that is a focus-driven lifestyle. They're distracted. The shiny object syndrome. What's that over there? And it's hard for them to focus in and to pay attention to anything because they're highly distracted. They're distracted in their mind. They're distracted in their relationships. You know, go to any restaurant and just look across the aisle, look across the table. People are not communicating. What are they doing? They're holding their mobile devices and they're texting. And they're not focusing in on each other or paying attention. A friend of mine said, you know, Lyman, I've been driving the same route every single day. And one day my car broke down. I had to get a ride and I was on the passenger side heading to work, the same route that he had been taking for years. Interesting thing happened. Because he was not driving but allowed to sit on the passenger side, he said, I saw some things I had never seen before. He said, man, I saw buildings. I did not even know that they were there. Why? Because he was so distracted and he didn't recognize his surrounding. And focus, let me explain, when we talk about focus and clarity, what I mean by that. Focus is nothing more than your ability to direct your attention. Write that down. One of the things that I believe is note takers are money makers. In other words, focus is your ability to direct your attention towards someone or something. Now, all of us have been given a gift, the gift of intentional as well as unintentional focus. You see, unintentional focus, we were born with that. You hear a loud noise, and all of a sudden our eyes go in that direction. We see something, we hear something. We don't think about it, it's automatic. That is what we call unintentional focus. Then we also have what's called intentional focus. And this is where clarity comes into being, is when you are intentional about directing your attention towards something, whether it be a goal, whether it be an idea, or whether it be an individual. What tends to happen is because we are competing for energy. Understand this and write this down, is very important. Everything in life is energy. The problem is when we lack clarity, or what I would call focus, the signals get mixed up. We're operating on a different frequency. If you know anything about radio waves, there are generally two frequencies. And you know anything about radios, there's AM and there's FM. The problem is you're communicating in AM, but your listeners are tuned into FM. And so although you're making a lot of noise, they're unable to pick up the signal because they're on a different frequency. When you get focused and you begin to say, well, wait a minute, how come the audience is not listening to me? Maybe I'm not operating on the same frequency that they are. So I need to change the dial, what we call realignment, refocus. What tends to happen is, just like in the old days when you had to turn the radio dial, you got some static, what I would call distractions. But eventually, once you get tuned in, have you noticed the radio signal becomes stronger and it becomes more clear? The same thing happens in our minds and in our body. When our mind is out of harmony or out of frequency, it's hard for us to pay attention on anything or anyone. This is why the Chinese call it monkey brain. Some people in America, they call it squirrely. Oh, all over the place, highly distracted. And we got nice terms where we call it ADHD and all this other stuff. And what I found out in my research, because I studied this for a long time, is majority of the people that have been misdiagnosed with ADHD, the real issue is not that they lack the ability to pay attention. The problem is they're trying to pay attention to too many things. Because think about this, we bought into this notion, especially in America, called multitasking, where you're trying to do 15, 20 different things at once and you get nothing done. Studies have been conducted all over the world, and what they found out is this: it's better to do one thing, have a single focus, do one thing, and do it well. Your brain was designed, it developed, it evolved to do one thing and one thing at a time. So when we try to do a lot of things, what we call multitasking, what happens is we get what's called diminished return. Let's say, for example, you're working on three things. Your brain is going to conserve energy. Remember I said everything in life is about energy. what happens is your brain says there are three things that I could be focusing on. And so what it says is, okay, I need to divide my focus. So you're only getting 33 and a third percent of your brain capacity on one thing, 33 and a third percent on the second thing, and 33 on the third thing. So you're not really getting 100% of your attention on any single thing. And when we begin to understand that we can get more done, that's why my clients, they get more done in one day than most people get done in the week. They get done in 1 week what most people get done in a month. And the reason is they have learned. I give them strategy. I'm going to share some of them with you on this webcast. And that is how to focus on one thing. And when you're done with that, you move to the next thing. It's called triaging. In the time of emergencies, they have what they call the emergency room. They have a waiting room. Then they have the operating room. And then there's recovery room. Have you ever noticed that if you go into the hospital emergency room, they don't take everybody into surgery. They triage, they look at what is the most serious issue that you're dealing with at the moment. And based on that, they will determine what's the best course of action for you. The same thing happens with your brain. Your brain looks at all the things we have to do, our huge to-do list. And the brain says, okay, that's going to take a lot of energy. That's not going to take a lot of energy. Ooh, that looks fun. And automatically the brain says, I don't feel like doing a lot of work today. I want to chill. And now instead of doing business calls, instead of doing a report, you're sitting there watching Netflix or watching something that we say, you know what, I just need to binge watch. Why? Because it requires less energy. Because we're trying to do too much. So what I tell my coaching clients is this: the best way to get focused and to regain your focus, ask yourself this one question. And this question will snap you back into focus. And here's the question. It's very powerful. What should I be focusing on now? What should I, think about that. What should I be focusing in now? And automatically your brain will begin to say, ooh, I'm supposed to be doing this. You see, questions steer focus. And what you focus on expands. So the best way to steer your focus is by asking questions. Here's another tip that will help a lot of people that have issues with distractions or have issues with paying attention. Asking yourself, what should I be focusing on now? And it's very important that you put the word now in there. Because if not, you say, what should I be focusing on? Well, I don't know, maybe this, maybe that. But when you give it a specific target, it says, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be working on these problems if you're in school. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be returning phone calls that I've been saying I'm going to return for the last 3 days and haven't made the first phone call. So the second question that you begin to ask yourself is this: what's stopping me from being focused? Because you have to identify your triggers, okay? When you begin to identify, and when my clients begin to identify their triggers, what's stopping me from being focused? You see, is it that I really don't want to do it? And the answer is oftentimes 3 reasons why we lose our focus. Number 1, we say, you know what? I don't have the energy. Remember, say everything is energy. We've depleted our mental energy. So now we entered into mental starvation, mental fatigue. And we say, and we've all done this. You know what? I just don't have the energy to do it, man. I'm sorry. I'm mentally spent, mentally fatigued. The second reason that people don't do things that they should be doing is they really don't have a system that would allow them to get it done and get it done the first time. So they do a lot of rework. It's sort of like writing a paper. It's like, man, you know what? This is the first draft. It's not that good. I wrote a song. It's really not that good. I know I need to do rewrites, but I don't feel like doing the rewrites. But when you begin to say, you know what? Maybe instead of trying to do everything at once, it's a concept called chunking, where you break down a huge project into small components and you do one thing every 7 minutes. So one of the things I share with my clients that really struggle with focus and paying attention is to say, I want you to just focus for 1 minute on one thing. I don't care. And so I give them an exercise called the pencil or the ink pen. And all I want you to do is just focus on this ink pen for 30 seconds. You see, your eye has to have something to focus on. If you don't have a target in mind, your brain will go all over the place. That's what all focus is the ability to direct your attention. And so if I direct my attention on you, Veronica, in a conversation, and I'm engaged in the conversation is fulfilling. If you're talking to me and I'm looking around and I'm on my phone and I'm saying, I'm sorry, 1 second, and I'm taking a phone call, and then I'm saying, can you wait right there? I forgot I need to put a load of clothes in. Oh, can you wait right there? I need to go do this. After a while, you're going to say, you know what? I must not be important to you. Because if I was really into the conversation, everything else shuts down. And I'm focusing, I'm engaging 100% on you. What does that do for you? When you focus on someone or something, what happens is they feel good about themselves. All of us love to feel that as if we are the most important individual in the room. And so what I teach my clients when they're networking, don't do all the talking. Ask questions. Remember, questions stir focus. So I meet someone for the first time, and I might say something, for example, I might say, it was very interesting when you was talking about whatever it is. How did you get started? If I had just met you, I may have said, wow, it's interesting. How did you come to the United States and flourish as an energy, as a clarity coach? Very interesting. And you'll begin to share your story. You get a smile because now I'm engaged and I'm asking you a question that allows you to share. And now we have what's called an exchange of energy, because everything in life is about energy. The reason we hang around people, you ever hung around someone and when you get done talking with them or hanging around them, you feel depleted? You're like, man, you're too draining. Why? They're literally like vampires sucking the life force out of you. But when you surround yourself with high energy individuals and there's that exchange of energy, I feed you, you feed me, we feed each other, you'll find out that your energy level increases. Your brain now releases dopamine and endorphins. You feel good, you're excited, and you're able to focus more. Why? Because it's the small things that we do that have the largest impact in our lives. And so just to recap, the first thing I tell people when they're dealing with lack of focus or lack of clarity is simply to ask themselves, what should I be focusing in on now? Clarity. Number one, question, stir, focus. Second, what's stopping me from being focused? You have to identify what your triggers are. Once you identify those triggers of what is blocking you from being focused, now you know how to deal with that. you'll find that most people have peaks and valleys throughout the day. And some people say, well, I'm not a morning person. You know, at nighttime, I come alive. Okay. You have others that say early, you know, what's that? The early bird gets the worm, something like that. They're early risers. Then you have some people like myself. It doesn't matter. I can get up early. I get up about 4:30, 5 o'clock every single day, except for sometime on the weekends that I want to be, you know, sleep in. And then I don't go to bed till sometimes midnight, 1 o'clock, because I'm having so much fun doing what I'm doing. And yet my energy, I don't drink coffee, my energy level stays up. Why? Because I stay in service. And I say, okay, Lyman, there are 15 things I could be doing, but you know what? What's the most important thing? So our company's motto is this: focus, prioritize, achieve. Set your focus. Focus on no more than 1 to 3 things. That's it. 1 to 3. That's it. Prioritize. Now that I have 3 things to focus on, what am I going to focus on first? I can't do all 3, because if I do all 3, I get diminished capacity, diminished return, because my brain is going to divide the energy, that mental energy that I need, in 3 ways. And it's not going to be 100%, 100%, 100. It's going to be 33 and a third. So if you got 10 things you're trying to do, guess what? Your brain says, I'm going to divert 10% of your mental power here, 10, 10, 10, 10. Imagine if you had 100% of your mental energy on one thing. How much more stuff could you get done? So that's, in my mind, in my research, Veronica, why focus brings about clarity.
I like that. I like it because I'm dyslexic, so focus is a difficulty.
Yes.
And I'll never forget, because my grandmother loved me to pieces, but she couldn't understand it, so she would make me do homework in the park. And for somebody like that, me, it's a nightmare.
Right.
So I am as sensitive as I am. I need to be in a quiet space. Like I had a group coaching today earlier, and my father came to fix my gas because it didn't work, and I'm scared of gas. And so I could hear gas popping in. And when I'm in 2 rooms, other room, and I couldn't focus on my work. That's how sensitive I am. And so like, I do get it that focus is everything. But when I'm in my focus, nobody can take me out. Like my kid says, Mom, I talked to you. I said, I didn't hear. I am in my zone and I make it work. And I believe that my success comes from that clarity, knowing where I'm going, and then focusing on one thing only.
Yes. Yeah, that is so important. And one of the things that when you were talking, I was thinking about this. Oprah Winfrey said, no jockey can win riding 2 horses. Okay. We think about this. If you're on your way to San Diego, I'm going to catch a flight, go to San Diego. Does it make sense for me to say, okay, I'm going to put one leg in one airplane and straddle and try to put the other leg in the other airplane? No, that doesn't make sense. But we do this all day long, thinking that we're getting a lot done. And I use this analogy. I asked my son, I say, Desta, I need you to clean up your room. And he will do one thing, he'll do another thing. Let's say he starts with the closet, all right? So he'll hang up 2 pair of pants in the closet. Then he'll go do the laundry. Then he'll try to do the dishes. Then he'll try to clean the bathroom. And 2 hours later, I'm like, what did you get done? And he's like, but Dad, I did laundry. I washed the dishes. I cleaned the bathroom. I started hanging up my clothes. But what did you get done? Well, where the clothes at? Oh, shoot, Dad, I forgot the clothes in the washer. So now I got to run back downstairs, rewash the clothes because he forgot. And I said, son, it makes sense if you did one thing, do the laundry. At least it's done. And I say it all the time, where people think that they're getting a lot done, but honestly, they're not at the level that they could. The same thing happens in relationship, where you're trying to do too much rather than just focusing on that relationship. What are the top 3 things we're going to focus on in our relationship and maximize it? What's the top 3 things we need to focus in our business to take it to the next level? First thing I tell my coaching clients, that's for business. And I use what's called the FAST system that I created, which stands for Focus, Acceleration, Success Training System. And what that system is designed to do is, whether you are a coach, a speaker, a consultant, is how do you get fast results without sacrificing quality? And the key is, to your point, determine what it is you should be doing. You see, the 70%, for those of you that are watching, that are in business or thinking about business, 70% of your time should be focusing on getting clients, getting customers. And yet I see people doing all kinds of stuff. They spend 70% working on content, and then they wonder why they can't sell anything, because they're only spending 10% marketing or 0. Well, if I build it, they will come. So I'm going to put all this time and money into building a website. And they got a cute, nice website. It looks nice, but no traffic. They're speaking on stages, but they don't know how to close, so they don't have any conversions. And then you have those that what I call conference junkies. They go to everyone's conference, they got everyone's material, they buy everyone's packages, but they don't implement. You see, here's the key. It's what's called the head, the heart, and the hand connection. What am I thinking about? What am I feeling? And what am I doing? Very important. You'll find that a lot of people are stuck in their head. And as you deal with people like that, they're stuck in their own minds. They think they're okay when they're really stuck. They got blind spots, but they're okay. Their life is in shambles, but they're okay. They're stuck in their mind. Then you have those individuals, they just say, you know what? I just want to help everybody. Well, what do you want to do? I just want to help everybody. Well, who do you want to help? Everybody. Who do you want to sell to? Everybody. Who are you speaking to? Well, my message, Lyman, is for everybody. No, it's not. Sorry to upset you, boo. It's not for everyone. Your message is for an audience that resonates with you. People that come to me, if they feel that they're highly focused, they're high success individuals, they probably look at me and say, hey, you know, it sounds nice. You're high energy, but I'm focused, man. I'm in a zone. No. Then you have those who say, man, you had me at get focused, and they buy up everything I have. And then you have those who say, well, Lyman, I need to refocus some things in my life. Can you help me do that? And all of us go through periods, as you mentioned, where we're in the zone, what I call we're in the flow state, where things are in alignment. They're just clicking. All cylinders are firing. And then there are times where we're like, is it worth it? Should I go do something else? But then there's always that prevailing thought that says, no, you're right where you need to be. And I believe that. And so those that are watching, those that will watch this, you might be feeling that way. You might be feeling like, Lyman, I've tried everything. I'm sick and tired. I don't know how to do this. You know, here's the key. We all have been there. I have yet to meet a coach, a consultant, a strategist that have not at one time in their life faced that question. Is it worth doing it? Let me assure you the answer is yes and yes. It is worth the struggle. I had a mentor in college. He would always say, continue to march. Continue to march. You see, I did a teaching the other day, and someone asked a question, what does it mean to be an authority figure? How do I become an influencer, Lyman? How do I become an authority? And I said there are 3 key principles to become an authority in your lane, in your space. Once you determine your focus and you get clarity of mind, clarity of speech, and clarity in the work that you do, then you have to have a presence. Not just your attitude, which is part of it, your swag. You have to have a presence that people know you are there. You'll be surprised the number of coaches, maybe not, the number of coaches, they don't advertise. They sit in an office and they're like, well, I'm a coach. They don't network. And I'm like, well, how are they going to find you? Well, they'll find me. I got a sign hanging out. I got a shingle hanging up. And nobody knows. You got to get people's attention. So you have to have a presence. Second, you have to publish. I tell people all the time, I've written 5 books, okay? Now, you don't certainly have to have a book, but you need to have content out there. People have to know, what do you do? And I share this with individuals. When you get focused on what you should do and you get clarity, content becomes so easy. Just like we're doing, we're creating content. Why? We're capturing the moment, and then you're going to release the replay. That's content. So many people are afraid to put their content out there because they think someone's going to steal it. You know what I say? Steal all my stuff. Steal it. Help yourself. You know why? Because if you think you can steal something from me, then guess what? I must have something of value. You see, you ever went to the mall and they put the cheap stuff out front? They don't even have a security guard, right? The expensive stuff they have locked behind glass, right? You got to ask someone for it. So when a person trying to steal your stuff, let them. Because here's the key. Nobody, Veronica, nobody can do what you do better than what you do. Uniquely the way you do it. So are you afraid of someone stealing your content? No, because nobody can do what you do. You have been uniquely designed, uniquely born, uniquely gifted to do what you do. And you do it with such class. Oh, I love it. You make it easy, even though it's not. That's how you know you're operating in your gift, because you do it effortlessly. And when someone tries to steal it, they will fumble and fall. You see, I already know, very few people can do what we do. And the reason being is we do it from the heart. We were born to do it. I was made to do this. Been up since 4 or 5 in the morning. What time is it? 11:30 on my side, Eastern Standard, but I'm still excited. Why? I was born to do this. I'm focused. I know where I'm going. Back to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Erin and Natalie, do you guys have questions? I know Erin always has good questions.
I'm sorry, that ended so abruptly. I wasn't ready for questions.
I looked down at the clock and I said, oh.
Are you ready now?
No, I'm here. I've been listening. I just wasn't, I didn't realize question and answer was going to be just here. I don't really have a question, but I like that when you find in the morning, I do the same thing. I wake up at 5 in the morning and I can stay up till midnight, just building my websites and networking and reaching out on social media and just, I have a joy mission. I'm a joy coach.
I love
That's the best way I can describe it. But I launched this program just last month and it's already just all over the place, to the point where even at my work, if anybody hears the word joy, they're like, oh, Erin, that's a thing. That's your thing. So it's just exciting. That's what excites me. So I completely get what you're saying about if you're doing what you're meant to be doing, it doesn't even matter. You don't even need to like work up the energy. It's just there.
It's just there because you're in the flow state, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you're focusing on the stuff that you were meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I see so many people come to me all the time. They're like, hey, Lon, I got this great business opportunity. And I look and I say, you know what? It's not me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not me. I'm the focus guy. You know, you want to get my attention, talk about focus, talk about attention, talk about distraction. Oh, you get my attention. That's, and people actually say, how did you become the #1 focus expert in the world, Lyman? How did? And it's interesting because I didn't even give myself that. A company called Peak Performance Institute out of Maryland. They followed me for months, years, invited me out, and they said, hey, man, do you know you're the #1 focus expert in the world? I said, what are you talking about? He said, nobody does what you do, Lyman, the way that you do it. And we've seen all the best. Matter of fact, good friend of mine, now I have some people, man, they're in the focus field. Janet called me, and she's a best-selling author. She said, Lyman, you know, I write about focus. She said, but I tell you something, nobody tells people or shows people how to get focused. We just tell people you need to get focused. And you bring the how-to, and you make it so easy. And I said, because I live such a distracted life. You know, I was a kid, man, that was bouncing off the wall like a bumblebee. And once I learned, sorry about that. Once I learned some very tangible, easy to use strategies, it was like you said, you don't even, you can stay up. Sometimes literally I could stay up, 18, 20 hours working on projects, helping people. And that's the key, is when you're helping others. Mm-hmm. And that's why I love doing these. I do 5 or 6 of these web classes, podcasts, go in the studio. Like yesterday, I was in the studio. We shot 18 podcasts in the studio. Then after that, I did a training, a 4 parts training. Got home. Tomorrow, matter of fact, early in the morning, I'm flying out to Florida. And I do some training there. Then where am I heading? Oh, also I just been chosen. Matter of fact, yesterday I've just been chosen to speak at the international coaching alliance in India in February. They're awarding me one of the top 100 international coaches award. How did they find me? I had no idea, but I'll be there. I just get into service. I shared this with someone, and I want to share this with you, Aaron, is my business took off once I became extremely focused, that for 2 years, I didn't have to go out there and search for clients. My phone literally was ringing off the hook, and some say, how did you get like that? How did people find you? I just kept making noise. I just kept making noise in the marketplace. You have to get people's attention. Mm-hmm. And I love what you said, joy. And that's what people need. You probably know this already. Do you know what the #1 issue in America is right now? The #1 issue in America right now is loneliness.
Yep.
Loneliness.
Absolutely.
Think about this. We're more connected than ever before, but yet we're more lonelier than ever before, because people are looking for authentic relationships. And when you said joy, it sent a chill through my body. I said, woo, I like that.
Woo. Well, what's cool, like what you were saying, is you don't just tell people to get focused, you tell them how to get focused.
Yes.
And that's the same thing I do. It's not just motivational quotes and happy ideas to get you through the day. It's actual exercises that you can do to get yourself into that place.
Yes.
So I'm on the same page with you.
Yes. It's a pleasure. I like that, joy. Man, we got focus, we got clarity, we got joy. I like that.
And a gal named Natalie.
Natalie is a financial advisor. Natalie, do you have any questions?
She's still there?
Are you there? Okay, then I have questions for Lyman.
Yes.
What are simple rituals in the mornings? Because I'm a deep believer the first 20 minutes in the morning, it's basically gonna figure out the rest of your day. What are some simple 1-2 minute ritual that we can do in the morning that can focus? Like I've learned recently from Kundalini yoga. There is apparently I don't even remember what exercise my coach showed me, and it literally focused me.
Yes. Matter of fact, I got a whole training that's talk about your focus-driven morning and 7 things you should do every morning to get you in what I call a focus flow state. The first thing that I do every single morning is I'm quiet. I wake up and I keep a glass of actually a bottle of spring water, okay? Because your body goes into a state of dehydration early in the morning, okay? Because all night. So the first thing I do is I hydrate. And I wake up in the morning and I take 3 sips of water and I just hold the water in my mouth and I meditate on one thing. And I say, as the water refreshes and nourishes my body, it also washes away the negativity from my life. And then I swallow. And it's those simple things of looking at the water that not only nourishes, but it also washes away the negativity, the negative thoughts that I may have had while I was asleep, okay? The negative energy. And now that's going to refresh me. Then I go to the bathroom. Then when I come back, I spend time in gratitude. Once I do that, I come back from the restroom because I gotta get rid of all that negative stuff. And then I'm so grateful. I spend about 1 minute in gratitude. And I find 3 things that I'm most grateful or appreciative of. And for me, it is life. Number 1, I say, I thank my creator for life, that I have breath in my body. Second are my sons, my 2 sons, Cameron and Destin, that I would be the father that they would want to emulate, all right? And that they will look at my life and say, my dad set a standard for us that we know that is possible. And then the third thing that I share, and I'm very grateful for, is the ability to infect others with the virus of possibility. Because if I can infect you with the virus of possibility, there's nothing you can't do. Just ask yourself, is it possible? And then the answer is yes. Wow, you can do anything. You just got to believe that it's possible. Just start there. It's possible. So those are some of the things that I do. Then one of the things I used to do that actually I'm getting back into doing is walking. I don't know what happened. I think I used to walk every morning for 1 to 2 miles, just observing nature. I live in the Midwest, it gets cold. I live in Indiana, so it gets cold. But I missed that. So now I'm going back to doing that, of just walking. Remember I talked about my friend that was in the car and he didn't even notice new buildings, just to become more aware of nature. And so that's something that I'm actually started doing, adding to my ritual that I used to do that. I don't know why I stopped, but I'm going back to doing it because I remember when I would walk in the morning as opposed to later in the day and you hear the chirping of the birds, I felt like I was really connected, not just to myself and to others, but even in a spiritual sense, connected to the universe. Because now I'm listening to new sounds and new energies and new vibrations out there that enter my body that I'm like, wow, I'm hearing these songs that these birds are singing, and I'm getting all kind of crazy, exciting ideas. So those are my rituals that I do in the morning.
I love that. Thank you so much. What are the 3 books that changed your life?
The 3 books. There's so many. I tell you, the first book that really, really changed my life was a book that says Lead with a Story. Lead with a Story is all about how to tell creative stories. And the essence of the book is about tell a story, make a point, but tell a story. So Lead with a Story is one. The other one, John Maxwell, 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. That one really helped me to understand from a leadership and a business standpoint, especially the concept of the lid, that people rise to a certain point. There's a lid there, even in leadership, and you have to remove the lid for people to excel. Another book that really revolutionized my thinking was Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. I think that's the classic book that I tell anyone. It's an old book, it's just a classic. But those are the 3 that I keep for the speaking business. Lead with a Story. John Maxwell, I think he is phenomenal when it comes to understanding leadership. There are just so many. That I read a lot. Matter of fact, on my phone, T.D. Jakes' book, Soar, is a great book if you haven't read that one. Matter of fact, I'm just looking here real quick. One of the books that I just finished was Story Branding. It's a great book. Wild at Heart by John Eldridge. T. Harv Eker, The Secrets of the Millionaire Mind. Oh, how can I forget that one? There's just so many of them. Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Languages, is another great book that there's just so many, that it's hard. It's like asking who's my favorite son, so many that I like. But those are the ones that, that I glean towards the most.
Fantastic. Do you guys have more questions, or I ask more?
Lyman, I missed the first 5 minutes of this, but I didn't see if you had like a website or a book or something that where do I find you?
Actually, if you Google my name, Lyman Montgomery, all my stuff would come up. If you go to focusdriven.com is my website. Okay. I have it actually on social media. If you go to Focus Driven Coaching Circle.
Okay.
My latest, 1 second here. My second international best-selling book, Focus Driven Lifestyle. This book is an Amazon bestseller. Matter of fact, funny story. I was actually going through the drive-through today at Burger King to get a veggie burger. And there's a young girl that is the cashier, and I pull up in my car, and she says, "You're the one that write books, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah, how did you know?" She was like, "I go to school with your son. Your son's name is Destin." I'm like, "Yeah." And she was telling me, how my son brags about me, and writing books. And I'm like, stuck my chest out a little bit, like, wow. And so you just never know. I've gone to airports and people have said, "Oh, wow, are you the Lyman Montgomery?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh man, someone gave me your book. and it literally has gone around the world. And so I've written 5 books, but you can go to my website. The easiest thing to do is connect with me on social media. I'm easy to find. And I return phone calls.
Focus driven?
Yeah, focusdriven.com. Matter of fact, I think I can put it in the chat here.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll put it here. I'll put both of them. All right, here's my other one for coachings.
Ah, there you are. Focus driven. Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is the one for that specifically for coaches. Yep. There you go.
Awesome.
Yep. So I'm easy to find.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You guys have more questions?
Well, I would like to say that you pretty much described me earlier when you were talking about doing 10 things at once. So, and I feel like I'm doing a lot, but I'm not getting a lot done. So that's, this is something that I'm definitely looking to, get some more guidance from you, because I'm at the crossroads where, okay, do I take some steps backwards because I'm not being able to focus, or how can I realign with myself? Sorry, I'm driving, that's why it's. But yeah, you definitely described me, and I'm really trying to get into with being more connected with people, and also to be able to be focused and connected. So
Sure. I don't know if you heard me because I know you were driving. There's the easiest thing to do, and I always start with this, is identifying by asking yourself the question, what should I be focusing on now? And the reason you want to put now at the end, or you can put it at the beginning, now what should I be focusing on? Okay. If you put now, it lets you know I've already done something prior. But if you say, what should I be focusing on now? It puts a stake in the ground and it says, now I should be focusing on this. Oh, okay. It's sort of like when I was a kid, my mother says, boy, what did I tell you to do? And she would want me to rehearse it. And so part of getting focused is actually asking yourself out loud, stand in front of the mirror and say, today, what are the 3 things that I'm going to get done today? Now, in another training, I talk about dealing with distractions. All of us deal with 4 different types of distractions. There's what's called psychological distractions, where we're physically present, but mentally our mind is somewhere else. Second type of distraction is called people distraction, interruptions. They're knocking on the door, they're pulling at you, the kids saying, mommy, daddy, I need this, your partner. And so people interruptions. The third type is what we call a process distraction, where we don't have a good system or ritual that we do consistently. And so we end up doing a whole lot of things trying to make it work. And I use the example, it's sort of like making a cake and you end up with gumbo, okay? Because you're not following any type of instruction, you're throwing stuff in there, okay? And you're wondering why it doesn't taste like your mom's or someone who has been doing it for a long time, following a certain pattern. If you go to any chain, whether it be fast food, they have systems. And so here's the thing about systems. Every system has a structure. And when you understand structures, systems, and sequences, your life gets a lot of better, because now you understand what's the structure that I thrive best. You talked about, Veronica, that you need to be in a structure of quiet. Well, someone else might need to be in a structure where there's ambient noise, soft music, jazz, orchestra, right? Somebody else might need to be in a very bright lit room. Somebody else may need a dim lit room. And so you got to figure out the structure. And once you figure out the structure, then you look at, well, what are the system? What are these little nuances that I need to work? Like you talk about being dyslexic, you come up with different ways. For me, learning, I was considered LD, have a learning disability, okay? So I had to create systems to memorize content, and I still use them today. Matter of fact, I actually have a neurological disorder, they say, but it worked for me. It made me a lot of money. It's called synesthesis, where I actually see when people talk, I literally see words like cartoons come out of people's mouths. It's amazing, you know? And it used to freak me out because I didn't learn to speak till I was 8 years old, true story. And I spent a number of years in speech therapy. I had braces on my legs, sexually abused for 3 years by a teacher, a complete mess, accordingly to some people, but that mess became a message to help others. And so for me, getting focused was all about slowing down, asking myself, what should I be focusing on now? And that gave me clarity. And then the other stuff that I said, but what about this? What about that? Then I began to prioritize. It's part of our motto: focus, prioritize, achieve. It's really that 3-point system. Focus, determine your focus, set a priority, and then work. Remember we talked about head, heart, hand. Focus, that's the mind. Priority, that's the heart. What am I passionate about? What do I want to do first? What makes you feel good? Achieve, that's the hand. That's how I get into alignment, is that now I'm focusing, I'm thinking about what I need to be doing, and I'm prioritized based on how I feel, and I achieve by doing the work. Head, heart, hand. That's the system that has worked for over 50,000 people whom I've coached over the last 12 to 13 years. And they are still, some of them call me up and they're like, man, did you hypnotize me? This stuff's still working. I'm like, it's a system, it works. And the last distraction is what we call a gadget or product distraction, where you're trying to find the latest app or the latest gadget. And sometimes a simple paper and pen is the best thing you can do to get things done. I see so many people they're like, well, what type of software app or what type of software? Ink pen is one of the greatest tools ever invented, or a pencil that has an eraser on it. That's all you need, really, to get more done. Because think about it, we have all this technology. It hasn't made us any smarter. If anything, how many of you right now remember more than 5 phone numbers? I can't, but I remember growing up, I can remember at least 20 phone numbers. I don't even know my son's phone number. You know why? I don't have to remember. I just push a button.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you guys have more questions for Lyman? Brian, I know you joined very late, but I know you always have a great questions.
Hi, Lyman. This is Brian from California, and I just logged in about 10 minutes ago and heard your closing remarks, which were fantastic. So I'm in a process of building a new partnership with another producer in my company.
Okay.
And we were talking today about our history and our trauma that we suffered in the past. And when you mentioned turning the mess into your message,
Yes.
that was an awesome reframing of it for me, and really looking at how to be empowered by the pain instead of having it be the thing that's, and I've done a lot of work with Veronica on this, and I feel like we've made a tremendous amount of progress. I just want to acknowledge you for having the courage to share what you were dealing with. I don't know how, but it's awesome. It's really great. I was only on for 10 minutes, but I think I heard what I was supposed to hear.
Yeah, thank you. I really appreciate that. You see, all of us have a message, all of us. And tragedy and trauma. Matter of fact, today I was talking with an individual who's really going through a storm in his life. And he broke down and started crying. And I mean, he's a, what you consider, you know, a big, husky, manly, quote, manly man, you know. And I asked him a simple question, he broke. I said, what do you desire right now more than anything? He broke. He said, my kids, man. He said, I'm here at work, but my heart is with my kids. And I don't know what's going to happen, going through a divorce, a bunch of stuff going on in his life. And I said, this is what I want you to do. I said, when you come to work, I want you to get a picture of your kids and set them right in front of your computer and ask yourself this question. Questions stir focus. What you focus on expands. When you have work to do and you don't feel like doing it because your mind is somewhere else, you're thinking about your kids, you now have to bring your kids into your workplace. How do you do that? You take a picture, you have a picture of your kids, and you ask yourself this question. If your kids were standing behind you saying, Daddy, show me how to do what you're doing, could you do it? Could you demonstrate? He looked at me. He said, wow, I never thought about that. I said, I know. That's why I'm the coach. I said, but seriously.
Sorry, I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, Siri, I wasn't talking to you. Siri's like, I don't understand. Technology, don't you love it? But I said, no, seriously. If your son or your daughter asks you, Dad, can you show me how to do what you are doing? Would you tell them, I'm so broken, son, I can't do it? Or would you look at that as an opportunity to demonstrate, because he's excited, he's focused, she's focused on wanting to know, what does Dad do at work? He said, I would be able to do it. I said, that's what you have to do. I said, I keep a picture of my son on my phone to remind me why I do what I do. It's for him. It's for my oldest son, Cameron. That's why I do this. It's for that kid out there that's been sexually abused, okay? And feel as if they don't have any worth, that nobody understands them. It's for the one that's been bullied, beaten to a pulp. I've been there, I know what it feels like. Falsely accused. To feel as if your life does not matter. That's why we do what we do. And have them, a crazy teacher tell me that I wouldn't graduate from college. And I got a PhD and 2 masters. Why? Because I dare anyone tell somebody, because they got a learning disability, that they're not college material. I dare you. I will defy you if you tell any kid they can't accomplish anything they want to accomplish just because you gave up on your dream. I'm sorry, I got into coach mode. I'm sorry. Back to you, Veronica.
Preach. Preach, man, preach.
I need to behave. I'm sorry. Forgive me, y'all.
No, you are great. Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you, and you have been amazing, and I'm very grateful that we are reconnected, and you had actually done it, and I reached out.
Yes. You know, let me just say this, Veronica, to you. When I met you, I told you, you know, you just captivated the room. I mean, you like a magnet, right? People were just drawn to you. And I believe with all my heart, everything happens for a reason, okay? There are no mistakes in life. And I believe all things happen in cosmic time, not just natural time, but cosmic time. And happens the way that they should, when they should, and how they should. And it's not by coincidence that I'm here. Matter of fact, right now it's my son's birthday. His birthday is July the 3rd, but I give service. I spend some time, like I said, I'm gonna spend some time with him, then I'm flying out to Florida, okay? Why? Because he understands Dad's on a mission. Dad's on a mission. My son is on a mission. He's an entrepreneur. He's better than me, actually, you know, and let me just say this as I close, is it takes a serious caliber of an individual to step out and launch a business, to step out and say, I want to change the world, whatever makes up your world, okay? It's so easy. I was talking with a lady 2 days ago. I said, what do you want? I said, what do you want? She said, oh, I just want to be able to pay my bills and sit on the porch and watch my dogs go hunt. That's it. That's it. I said, well, what else do you want? I said, that's nice, but what else do you want in life? And she said, that's all I want. Just to have enough money to pay my bills, sit on the porch, and watch her dogs go hunt. That's it. And I said to her, I said, wow. I said, you expect a lot, don't you? She kind of looked at me. She's like, no. I said, for me, that takes a whole lot to just sit there on the gift that God has given you to do nothing. I said, that takes a lot to just, when there's so much you could be doing, helping kids, helping humanity, helping animals. Your thing is animal, working with animals. And all you want to do is just sit on the porch and watch life pass you by. I'm so glad, Veronica, you're not that person. I'm so glad that those of you that are on this call, you're not that person. Just want to watch life pass you by, that you want to get in the game. Yeah, you might strike out, but that's okay. Babe Ruth held the record for the most home runs, but also held the record for the most strikeouts. That's okay. You may strike out, but the game ain't over. It ain't over. It ain't over.
I agree with you completely. I think I think somebody wrote it, but I invented it myself before I read it somewhere. And I was maybe 14 or 15-year-old, and I said there is two types of people who write a history and people who make a history.
I like that.
And at the time I thought that I'm the one who's supposed to record the history. But now and I have an amazing sister who is like doing 100 things more than I do. But as time passed by, I realized that I'm the one who's supposed to make a history. And I think all of us have time in life when we witness somebody make a history or record it. Like Erin always posts on my YouTube, love you, Erin. Otherwise it wouldn't happen. So, and there is time in our life when we make a history, and I think it's equally important to do both in life, because you're not fulfilled if you don't do that.
Yes.
And I think if everybody would have, the reason I do what I do, because I reconnect people with that life purpose. I show people, like you say, to what they're supposed to do. And I know Erin wouldn't mind. Me and Erin connected in a spiritual place. And I was actually thinking, I was going through that place where I thought that I'm in a tunnel. She met me, she said, you're the light at the end of my tunnel. And I said, well, good, it makes one of us. She's like, yeah, in marketing, I'll help you. It's okay. I do it for work anyway, it's fun. And in 6 months, Erin became happiness coach and a joy coach. And we discovered that about her. And her life is like becoming like that fairy tale, and I have like a lot of people like that. And these things that lights me up, because those are the reasons you can't stop, because that when people get that, they would never, if everybody in life could get that, nothing would change, nobody would stop. I saw a commencement speech for Harvard where founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, was giving. And he was saying that he said that people who he was speaking to, they have a life purpose. But he says, what if we create a society where everybody live their life purpose?
That's good.
That's the secret of a Facebook, because he understood it then. So I invite all of you guys who are watching as we're ending it up to live a lifestyle fulfillment, lifestyle where every day you make a difference in someone's life.
Yes, that is awesome. You know, that's why I wrote the book, you know, Focus Driven Lifestyle. It is about a lifestyle. You see, what I tell my clients is there are 5 keys, what I call 5 master keys to success. And I don't care what it is, success in marriage, success as a parent, success in business. Number 1 is mindset. You have to have a focus driven success mindset. Focus, you have to have focus, number 1, a focused mindset. Second, you have to have a focused message. And you have to direct your message towards the right audience that is receptive to receive it. Third, you have to have, and you'll love this, Aaron, the right method or marketing. How do you get your message out there to the world? And here's the prosperity warrior. I like that title. You have to master it. You have to have a mastery, a focused mastery. You become like a ninja. Bruce Lee, one of my favorite actors, he said, I fear not the man with 1,000 kicks. I fear the man who's practiced one kick 1,000 times. And once you master, now you move into mentoring. Would you say it's no longer about me, it's about others. I want to mentor someone. So now there's a legacy. And once you begin to mentor 2 or 3, you've created a movement. So again, and you would put it this way, you would say clarity of mind, clarity of message, clarity in your marketing, clarity to the point you have mastered some things. And now you're able to have joy mentees because now you are a joy mentor, a joy coach. And you get several people that buy into it. Now you've created a movement. Those are the 5 or 6 key things that if you would apply those, trust me, you will go from 0 to 6 to 7 figures in a year, guaranteed. It's really that simple. I'm living proof.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you so much. And thank you for all of you for watching, and we'll see you all on the next Clarity Mastermind.
Pleasure, Lyman.
Thank you. Stay focused, my friends.